Shanae.
Hey.
Hey, Joy.
Thanks for agreeing to read.
Yeah.
No problem.
Do you
Awesome.
in the chat where you can get a link to the script?
What?
Do you have a copy of the script in front of you?
I have the copy of the script on my phone.
Good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm about to find it in script analysis. Okay. Oh, baby.
Saturday afternoon. The house is in disarray. Cardboard boxes are stacked in corners. Some furniture has been removed, shelves emptied. Pictures have been removed from the walls, and carpets have been rolled and stood on end. Not far from the fireplace, Russ sits alone reading a copy of National Geographic. He is dressed in pajama top and chinos, socks, no shoes. On a table next to him sits a carton of ice cream into which, from time to time, he dips a spoon. Music plays softly on his transistor radio. After a moment, Bev descends the stairs carrying linens, which she will add to a cardboard box. As she does, she stops to look at Russ.
You're not going to eat all of that, are you?
What did
Plays on the radio.
What did you say?
What ice cream is that?
Neapolitan.
Well, don't feel compelled to eat that.
Going to waste.
He turns the radio back up and Bev crosses to the dining room. Francine enters from the kitchen wearing a maid's uniform. Russ remains in the foreground as we overhear.
So, if it's all right, I'm just going to put these candlesticks here in a big box with the utensils.
That is what I would do, yes. But you do mean to wrap them.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Oh, now, Francine, I was wondering about this chafing dish, which we practically never used.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you own one of these yourself?
No, I sure don't.
Because I do love to entertain, though for the life of me, I can't remember the last time we did. But still, it does seem a shame to give it away because it's such a nice thing, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is.
And it just looks so lonely sitting there in the cupboard. So, I was wondering if this might be the sort of thing that would be useful to you.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't take that.
Oh, but see how sad he looks?
You don't want to be giving that to me.
Well, nonetheless, I'm offering.
No, I don't think I should.
Well, you think about it.
But thank you for offering.
Think about it and let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
And put some paper around those.
Yes, ma'am.
Francine goes into the kitchen. Bev continues to pack, passing Russ.
It's a funny word, isn't it? Neapolitan.
Funny what way?
What do you suppose is the origin of that?
Naples, I imagine.
Naples?
City of Naples.
Oh.
Of or pertaining to.
That would not be my first guess.
Yep.
I would think it would have something to do with something new. And then there's the politan part, which to me is like metropolitan.
I'm at 180 on you. Could be.
Meaning new city or something to that effect.
I told you what I think.
Because the person from Naples, I mean, they wouldn't be called, well, not Napoleon, obviously. I guess that was already taken. On the other hand, you do say Italian. Oh, but cities, though, and specifically ones that end in S because there might be a rule of some sort, don't you think? Oh, help me think of a city other than Naples that also ends in S. Oh, oh, fiddle.
Des Moines?
No, not a silent S.
Brussels?
All right, there you go. And how do we refer to them?
Belgians.
But the people from the city.
Never met anyone from Brussels.
But there has to be a word.
I'll look it up.
Where?
Dictionary?
But it's not going to say this is the capital of Belgium. And by the way, the people who live there are called.
Give Sally a call.
She won't know that.
She and Ray went to Paris.
So?
Close to Brussels?
Sally never knows those sorts of things.
Oh, no.
Hello? What?
Parisians.
What about them?
Francine returns with more packing.
Paris ends in an S.
I can't hear y'all. Hello?
Hello?
Can y'all
Or
hear me?
Nice.
I'm serious.
Got the S sound?
But not Nisians, like
Lord.
Grecians.
No. Niçoise.
I know that, but
I know that salad your sister makes.
well, that's
It's a French city.
Oh, I understand, but I'm saying, how would we say in oh, now I don't remember the original question.
Brussels?
No,
Des Moines?
no,
Naples?
Naples. Can you tell us?
Muscovites.
No, what today? No, not today.
People from Moscow?
Well, I give up because that's just peculiar.
Muscovites.
I wonder if they're musky.
Muscovites.
Kyrene? Y'all tell me how to say that. I don't know.
That's
That is a
fine to
strange one.
me.
Huh?
Pyrenees?
Pyrenees? Yeah.
Oh.
That is a strange one.
I'm telling you, that's what they're called.
I'm not disputing.
But why Kyrenies?
A girl named Irene.
Francine exits again.
Or Congolese?
That too is correct.
So why don't we say Tongolese?
Or Mongolese.
No, Mongoloid.
No, that's different.
No, you're right.
That's that's
No, I know.
the thing with the
But like the Wheeler boy.
oh right, the one who
Bags the groceries.
right.
But that's nice, isn't it? In a way. To know we all have our place.
There, but for the grace of God.
Exactly.
Ulan Bader.
What?
Ulan Bader.
What are you doing?
Ulan,
Stop it. Tell me what you're doing.
capital of Mongolia.
Well, why would I know that?
National Geographic.
Oh. Did you change the address like I asked you?
What do you mean?
For the National Geographic.
The address.
Russ,
Me?
I asked you.
You did?
I asked you 15 times.
When?
I said, don't forget to change the address for the magazine, and you promised me that you would. You promised me specifically that you
I did it last week.
Oh,
Pulling your leg.
see.
Oh, Russ.
Maybe people don't like having their leg pulled.
Okay.
And are you going to help me bring that trunk down from upstairs?
Yep.
Thought you said after lunch.
Sort of a two-person job.
You really want to wear those clothes all day?
Hadn't really thought about it.
A silence passes between them. Russ scratches his elbow.
But you are a funny person. I was telling Francine I ran into Barbara Buckley at Lewis and Coker's, and Barbara said that Newland told her a funny joke that you told at Rotary last year.
That I told?
About a man with a talking dog.
Thinking of Don Lassiter?
No, it was you.
Don's the one with the jokes.
You know jokes. You tell jokes.
A talking dog.
And Barbara said, "Does Russ not go to Rotary anymore? Apparently, they all keep saying, 'Where's Russ?'" Well, not that I care one way or the other, but it does seem that you used to enjoy going, and I don't see why that, of all things, you should have to change. And please don't say, "What's the point, Russ?" I hate it when you say that, because for that matter, well,
I wasn't going to say it.
enjoyable, really.
Phone rings. Francine enters.
Why not just sit in a chair all day and wait for the end of the world? But I don't intend to live the remainder of my life like that, and I think you could take notice of the fact that talking that way frightens me.
Stoller residence. Oh, wait, that's not me. Sorry. That's Francine.
It's not working for Roshane. I'm gonna read for her until she can reconnect. Solar residence?
I'm not trying to frighten you.
Who may I say is calling, please?
Ulan Bader.
Excuse me, Miss Stoller.
Who is it?
Mr. Linder wanting to talk to you.
For the love of...
Tell him I'll call him back.
Not one thing, it's another.
Mr. Linder, she wonders if you can call her back. Call you back.
Oh, and I don't see the point of spurning their good intentions.
Gee whiz, I'm just reading a magazine.
Says he's calling from a payphone.
Just say we're occupied. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Just say we're occupied.
No, I'll take it. Thank you, Francine. I'm just repeating what Barbara said. Oh, hello?
Barely know the woman.
No. It's just, we're in a state of disarray, Karl.
Somehow I spurned her.
As Francine returns to the kitchen, the front door opens and Jim sticks his head in. He is a youthful minister, wears a clerical collar under his jacket.
Ding dong.
Hey, Beth?
Anyone intrude? He politely asked.
Jim's at the door.
Oh, come in. Karl, I can't hear what you're saying.
Russ, my friend, I am crossing the threshold.
Hey, Jim.
Holy Toledo, Jiminy Christmas.
Beth's on the phone.
Hate to be the one to break it to you, buddy, but somebody made off with your stuff.
Kind of discombobulated.
Karl, I don't think so. Not today.
It's not the big day, is it?
No, Monday.
No, it's just Russ is a little under the weather.
Piece of advice. Watch out when you start lifting things. Learned that the hard way last month.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Judy says, Jim, I gotta have me this spinet piano. Task which naturally falls to me.
Oh, well, if it's absolutely necessary.
And there I am with this thing halfway up the front steps, and me underneath. And of course, it's not the weight, it's the angle.
All right, Karl.
Which is why they tell you to bend the knees.
Oh, you look at what the cat dragged in.
What was that about?
Bev, I am trying to bestow the pearls of my wisdom upon this man.
Oh.
No, I was listening.
Oh, isn't it just a jumble in here, all of this?
That's what I was saying to Russ, and somebody cleaned you out.
Not coming here, is he?
Oh, I don't know. You know Karl.
Karl Lindner?
Bev?
Oh my gosh. You gotta look at Betsy lately?
Oh, I know.
Give that girl a wide berth.
Well, Jim, can I get you some iced tea?
Maybe call back and ask him to come later.
It was a payphone. Oh, I know. Now, wait. Now, Jim, I am going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
And don't help him. Now, I want you to tell Russ what you think the word Neapolitan means.
She thought...
You're not allowed to say.
Well, that'd be your basic vanilla, strawberry.
The derivation. That's a word.
I told her what I think.
I think it's Naples, isn't it?
Oh, phooey.
Or Napoli, as we like to say.
Francine enters.
You two are cheating. And then, well, Russ is in a funny mood. He keeps going, Ulan Bator.
What's that? Capital of Nepal?
Mongolia.
Mongolia. So, then what's the Nepalese? Do you say Nepalese?
I hope it's not Neapolitan.
Kathmandu.
Kathmandu.
Oh, well, I don't even know why you two know these things.
Miss Stoller?
Knowledge is power, Bev.
Then I choose to remain powerless. Do it again.
Do what?
How you said it.
No.
Do it, Russ.
No.
For Jim.
Bev?
Why not?
Sorry, Jim.
Not for me, but not for him.
Well, for one thing, because it's not funny.
Excuse me, I'm fixing to go, so if you need something else.
Oh, yes, one thing. Francine, you remember that big trunk that's upstairs?
No, Bev.
Oh, she doesn't mind.
I just told you I'm doing it.
But it's a two-person job, and here's two of you right here.
Well, what's the emergency?
I would offer my services.
Oh, no.
But I am under doctor's orders, believe it or not.
Well, I'm just needing to leave by 3:30.
All right.
Francine, I am going to move the gold darn truck.
Yes, sir.
That's what I get for trying.
Francine exits. Discomfort.
So...
Did you get any lunch, Jim? Do you want some?
Oh, no.
Well, since we're cleaning out the larder, and Russ seems to be eating every last thing in the icebox, so you have to fight him for the ice cream.
Not for me.
Well, can't pack ice cream in a suitcase.
In a suitcase. Oh, did you hear what he said?
Man's got a point.
Oh, how do you think of those things? Ice cream in a suitcase.
Not unless you're moving to the North Pole.
Oh, thank goodness we're not moving south.
Oh, that'd be a mess. No question.
Bev and Jim stop laughing, sigh. More discomfort.
Well, I'm going to see what we do have.
Bev exits into the kitchen, leaving Russ and Jim alone. A beat, then.
What are you, coming down with something? You coming down with something?
Who?
Bev said under the weather.
Me?
And here you sit in your PJs.
Oh, no. I'm took the day to truck coming, so
Oh, I gotcha.
a couple of days off.
Playing hooky.
No.
That's your alibi.
Just giving her a hand with stuff.
And you are hard at work, as I see.
No, I just,
Kidding you.
I know, yep.
Would have come to your aid there, only I'm dealing with a little, issue.
Oh, yeah?
Piano I told you about?
Right?
Did you ever need a truss? Have to wear one of those?
Don't recall.
Oh, you'd recall it if you did.
Guess not then.
You are a fortunate man.
I hear you.
Bend the knees, or suffer the consequences.
Yep.
So, Monday, he said.
Yep.
Off to the hinterlands.
Monday it is.
Jim, was that a yes or a no on the iced tea?
I would not say no to that.
Russ?
Russ shakes his head.
I believe Russ is declining your generous offer.
I thought as much.
Monday. Monday. Monday.
Sarah, we can't hear you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Head him up. Move him out.
Yep.
And when you start that Glen Meadows office,
Monday after.
how about that?
Yep.
And how's that shaping up?
Oh boy, no. That's a nice setup.
I betcha.
And spacious, that's the thing. And carpeted. And I gotta look at the office they're putting me in. Tell you what I thought to myself. I thought, what the heck do you do with all this space? Corner office, windows, two sides. But the space is the primary. That is just an extravagant amount of space.
Elbow room.
Other thing is, once we get situated up in the new place, the time it takes, driveway to the parking lot, know what that's gonna take me?
5 minutes.
6.5.
Close enough.
Timed it, door to door.
Roll out of bed and boom.
And Tom Perricone. I don't know if you know Tom, colleague of mine, and now he's going to relocate to that same office, and they live right down here off of Larrabee. You know what that's going to take him on the expressway?
That's a drive.
35 minutes, and that's no traffic.
Well, Judy and I are sure gonna miss having you two around.
Well, yeah.
And how's Bev doing?
Oh, you know, Bev loves a project.
Keep her occupied.
The mind occupied.
What, does she worry a lot?
No more than
About you?
me, no.
You seemed good to me.
I mean, you know how she gets.
Sure.
Overexcited.
I can see that.
Worked up over things, minor things.
Things like...
You know.
Not calling yourself a minor thing, are you?
No, I didn't. I meant things like,
Do you consider yourself a minor thing?
Jim, I didn't. Well, actually, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think anyone of us is a particularly. Did Bev ask you to come over?
Nope.
I mean, good to see you. Great to see you.
I mean, we ran into each other a couple of days ago. Got to talking.
Uh-huh.
A little about you, since she cares about you.
Right.
Pause. Russ looks for Bev.
The heck's she doing in there?
Everybody cares about you, Russ.
Yep. Well, tell you what I think. and I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but I do think a lot of people today have this a tendency to brood about stuff, which, if you ask me, is well, short answer, it's not productive. And what I'd say to these people, were I to have a degree in psychiatry, I think my advice would be maybe get off of your rear and do something.
Hmm.
Be my solution.
Uh-huh.
Of course. What do I know?
I think you know plenty.
Pause.
Hey,
Russ
Bev?
turns.
Hey, Bev?
Like, I think you know your son was a good man, no matter what. Hero to his country. Nothing changes that.
Yep.
And I also think you know that sometimes talking about things that happen, painful things, maybe,
Uh, you don't happen to have a degree in psychiatry either, do you, Jim? No? Just checking.
we all suffer, you know. Not like you and Bev, maybe, but
But see, since what I'm doing here is, since I'm just minding my own business,
it doesn't hurt.
sorta seemed to me you might save yourself the effort worrying about things you don't need to concern yourself with. And furthermore,
He's in a better
if you
place,
do
Russ.
keep going on about these things, Jim, well, I hate to have to put it to you this way, but what I think I might have to do is politely ask you to, well, go fuck yourself.
Not sure there's a polite way to ask that.
Russ rises to exit.
Okay, so
I just can't believe Kenneth would have wanted his own father to.
yep. So you can go fuck yourself, okay?
Bev enters with Jim's iced tea.
So wait, so if it's Napoli in Italian, then wouldn't adding an E before the A just seem superfluous? What's happening?
Bev, I believe I will hit the road.
What are you... Russ?
Going upstairs.
What happened?
Not to worry.
What did you do?
Another time.
Come back here.
Oh no, Russ made his feelings clear, in no uncertain terms.
Going up now.
Terms may be more appropriate for the locker room than.
I told you so. I told you what it's like, and he uses these ugly words in other people's presence. I'm not some kind of matron, but what in the world is wrong with civility?
Honey, I'm not going to stand here with you and Jim and discuss
Well, you're being
private matters. Matters that are between me and the memory of my son.
I think his mind has
And
been
if the
affected.
two of you want to talk about Kenneth on your own time, if that gives you some kind of comfort.
And what's wrong with comfort? Are we not allowed any comfort anymore?
Well, Kenneth didn't get a whole lot of comfort, did he?
He was sick, Russ. And for you to use nasty words to Jim.
I think I haven't heard before.
Changing my shirt.
I was in the service too, you know.
Oh. Right. And tell me again, how many people did you kill?
Oh, for God's sake, stop it!
Sat behind a desk, didn't you? Goddamn coward.
The doorbell rings. All stand in silence. Bev covers her mouth. At the front door, we can see Albert peer through a small window.
Hello?
And still no one moves.
Anybody home?
Jim crosses to open the door.
Afternoon.
How'd you do? I'm just here to.
Francine, Albert's here.
Yep. Oh. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming.
She's on her way.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jim does not know whether to invite Albert in or not. He turns to Bev. Russ turns and exits up the stairs. Bev turns back to Albert.
Albert, would you like to wait inside?
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
I bet it's warm out there, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is.
Can I offer you some iced tea?
No, thank you, though.
Well, I'm sure she'll be right along.
Thank you.
Albert sits near the door, both in earshot of Jim and Bev.
I think maybe it's time for me.
Oh, please don't go. Please don't. I just don't want to be alone with him right now. It makes me feel so alone. The way
Not alone.
all night long. Last night he was just sitting there at 3 in the morning. And
I know,
said,
I do.
I said, don't you feel sleepy? Don't you want to take a Somonex or play some cards maybe? And he says, I don't see the point of this. Of it, as if there's has to be some grand justification for every single thing that a person.
And now she notices Albert rising and heading for the door.
Wait, yoo-hoo!
It's all right.
Is something wrong?
No.
She said she's on her way.
I can wait outside.
Francine?
I'm coming.
There she is.
Francine enters in street clothes with 2 large bags of hand-me-downs. She stops to put on her earrings.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm moving a little slower than usual.
Oh, and here's Albert waiting so patiently. If only I had a door-to-door service like Francine.
So, I'll see you Monday then.
Albert, isn't this place just a catastrophe?
Oh, yes it is.
I tell you, I don't know what I would do without a friend like Francine here. And on a Saturday. I mean, she is just a treasure. What on earth are we going to do up there without her?
Well, I trust y'all can sort things out.
Oh, and maybe on Monday we can see about that big trunk. Why don't we?
We'll make sure and do that.
Oh, I'll do it myself, but I'm not a big strapping man like Albert here.
Afraid I've got to exempt myself.
Oh, no. Francine and I can manage.
What's it? A trunk, you said? A footlocker. Where's it at?
No. We just need to bring it down the stairs.
I don't mind.
Oh, thank you, but no.
But definitely Monday. These stairs here?
Oh, no. I mean, it wouldn't take but 2 minutes.
It's just, I got these things to take care of. I can put them in the car.
Oh, got yourself a car?
Yes, sir.
Was that a Pontiac?
Yes, sir. It's just that I'm afraid we're gonna be late. For what? The place we gotta be? The place? Remember? What are you? I'm sorry. Said 2 minutes is all. Well, I got my hands full. I just said I can put them in the. I can put them in the car. I can do that.
Did you get the chafing dish?
No, ma'am. Thank you, though. Be right back.
Albert opens the door to reveal Karl, about to ring the bell.
Unexpected.
Hello, Karl.
Bev. Voila.
Excuse us, if you don't mind.
Not at all. After you, sir.
Karl makes way for Albert and Francine to pass.
What is the matter with you?
Jim too. Hello, lad.
Carl?
Come on in, Karl.
Yes, could do that. However, you'll recall, Bev, that Betsy currently happens to be, how shall we say?
Oh, is it almost that time?
Point being that she did accompany me.
What do you mean? You mean she's in the car?
She is.
Well, for heaven's sake, Karl, don't leave her out in the hot car.
That was my thinking.
Bring her in with you.
Will do.
Oh, thanks.
Back in a flash.
As Karl exits, Russ descends the stairs in a clean shirt and shoes. Bev and Jim allow him to silently pass by them. He walks to the chair and collects the ice cream carton. As Russ is about to exit again,
You changed your shirt.
Russ continues into the kitchen without responding. A moment, then,
Bev,
I know I'm being silly. I know I am. But
not at all. Not in the least.
years, you'd think that with time, because that's supposed to thing that helps, isn't it? A little bit of time.
A great healer.
The new job and the move, I thought somehow he would start to let go of.
Russ returns from the kitchen. Bev goes silent. He goes to a door beneath the stairs, opens it, pulls the string to turn on a light, and exits.
Where are you going? The basement?
Yep.
Are you looking for something?
Yep.
The front door opens. Karl escorts his wife Betsy, who is 8 months pregnant and who also happens to be totally deaf.
Here we are then.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, Beth.
Oh, well, just look at you. My goodness. You are just the biggest thing.
I know. It's true. I'm so big.
Took the liberty of not ringing the bell.
Betsy, you know Jim.
Indeed, she does.
I am.
Jim shows off his sign language skills to Betsy, finger spelling the last word.
Oh, well, now look at that. Look at them go. What is that about? Somebody translate.
Oh, what did I do? Did I misspell?
It seems, Jim, that you told Betsy that she was expecting a storm.
Oh, no. He meant stork. You meant stork, didn't you?
Amira.
Her umbrella. I understood that.
Have to check the weather report.
A storm. I'm going to have to tell that to Russ.
Must have rusty fingers.
Jim says his fingers are rusty.
See, she understands.
You made me so.
Oh, soap for the rust.
No,
on
I
your-
understood.
More polite laughing, Russ emerges from the basement carrying a large shovel.
Well, and there's the man himself. Thought he'd absconded.
The lenders are here.
Oh,
Betsy. You seen my gloves anywhere?
Tunnel into China, are we?
Pair of work gloves?
Do you know, I just got through saying how Russ and I never entertain, and here it is, a regular neighborhood social.
Well, we shan't be long.
Karl, do you suppose Betsy would like a glass of iced tea?
Bets. Point to me.
Betsy, look at Karl.
Betsy looks at Karl.
Bev wants to know if you want some iced tea to drink.
Oh, yes, please. Thank you, Beth.
Know the gloves I'm talking about?
Well, Karl's here. I thought you were going to talk to Karl.
Francine and Albert have entered and started up the stairs.
The heck's going on?
Nothing. Now, we two girls are going to go to the refreshment stand, so you boys will have to manage on your own.
Have no fear.
So, how are you feeling, Betsy? Are you tired?
Oh, I'm tired, really.
Betsy and Bev exit to the kitchen.
Now, Russ. That tells me you're indisposed, and normally I'd. Not contagious, is it?
Is what?
Betsy to, come into contact with any.
Not contagious.
Can't be too careful. Or possibly one can. Anyway, I hate to commandeer your Saturday afternoon here. A man's home, as they say, but as we haven't seen your face at Rotary of late, I thought I might
What's on your mind, Karl?
intrude upon the sanctity of. What'd you say?
What's on your mind?
Well, firstly, may I sit?
Yeah.
Karl, I will be taking my leave.
Not on my account.
Parish business.
Well, truth to tell, Jim, we might actually benefit from your insight here. If it's not pressing.
Actually.
Not to usurp your authority, Russ. You're castled. You are the king.
What's on your mind?
Is this safe?
Anywhere.
No breakables? And Jim?
Minute or two.
Good. So,
Iced tea for you, Karl?
problem being that I do have some sensitivity to the cold beverages. So, my question would be, is the tea chilled? By which I mean, has it been in the Frigidaire?
No, Karl.
Then, if I might have a serving minus the ice, that would suit me fine.
All right, Karl.
Bev closes the door.
Anyway, Russ, if you don't mind, I will proceed directly to, dare I say, the crux. So, first and foremost, as far as matters of community are concerned, I've always maintained.
Bev and Betsy entered from the kitchen with glasses of iced tea.
All right, you boys.
What is something?
She's fine, Karl.
Is that tea she's drinking?
Yes, Karl.
Slow sips, small sips.
All right, Karl.
Betsy and Bev sit at the dining table away from the men. They begin to communicate via pad and pencil.
You were saying?
Tad overwrought, I suppose. Well, with Betsy's condition, but, well, given our history of 2 years ago, I don't know, Russ, if you knew the details of that.
Some, yep.
And Jim, source of great comfort for us during all of that. It was the umbilical cord, nature of the problem.
I knew that.
Wrapped around. Exactly. So, well, no one at fault, no one to blame, but these tragedies do come along, and as you well know.
Boy or girl?
No, touch wood. No tempting fate.
There you go.
Now, not to compare our little setback to what the two of you endured, but
Oh, sorry. Something about a crux?
Right you are. Well, to backtrack. I take it, Russ, you're aware that the Community Association meets the first Tuesday of each month, and as I'm sure you know, Don Skinner is part of the steering committee. And somehow it came to Don's attention at this late juncture that Ted Driscoll has found a buyer for this house. And I have to say, it did come as something of a shock when Don told us what sort of people they were.
What sort of people are they?
Pause. Karl stares at Russ.
Well, I suppose I'm forced to consider the possibility that you actually don't know.
Don't know what?
Well, I mean, they're colored.
Who are?
The family. It's a colored family. So I contacted the family.
Wait.
You're saying Ted never bothered to tell you?
We, sort of gave Ted free rein on the...
I don't think you're right on this one,
Oh,
Karl.
but I am. Oh, I've spoken with the family.
Bev?
On the telephone?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, Betsy and I have just come directly from, from Hamilton Park.
What is it?
Come here a second.
Now, Russ, you know as well as I do that this is a progressive community.
What's he talking about?
If you take the case of Gelman's Grocery, that's a fine example how we've all embraced a different way of thinking.
Slow down a second. Bev, get Ted Driscoll on the phone.
What for?
Karl says Karl is claiming.
Russ, I have met personally with the family, and
What? He claims this family, the family to whom Ted sold the house.
it's a colored family.
Sorry, don't we say Negro now?
I say Negro.
Well, it's only common courtesy, and
I say them interchangeably.
I'm not trying to tell you how to conduct your business.
And of course I said Negro to them. No, I think we both know what you're doing.
And furthermore, I don't think Ted would pull a stunt like that.
Yes, we all admire Ted. But I don't think any of us would accuse him of putting the community's interests ahead of his own.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
And I don't think any of us have forgotten what happened with the family that moved onto Costner Avenue last year. Now, Costner Avenue is one thing, but Clybourne Street.
Wait, Karl, are you sure?
I was sitting with them not 2 hours ago.
Isn't it possible that they're, I don't know, Mediterranean or...
Beth, they are 100%. And I don't know how much time any of you have spent in Hamilton Park, but Betsy was waiting in the car, and I can tell you there are some unsavory characters.
Karl?
But in the case of Gelman's, I think there was some mistrust at first, having seen Kopechne's market for such a long time. But in the end of all, Murray Gelman found a way to fit in.
And they hired the Wheeler boy.
Is he the one with the...
He's the, you know...
And fitting into a community is really what it all comes down to.
A very loud thump from upstairs.
The heck is going on up there?
Now, some would say change is inevitable. And I can support that if it's change for the better. But I'll tell you what I can't support, and that's disregarding the needs of the people who live in a community.
But don't they have needs too?
Don't who?
The family.
Which family?
The family who...
The purchasers?
I mean, in principle, don't we all deserve to... Shouldn't we all have the opportunity to
Well, Bev.
In principle, no question.
But you can't live in a principle, can you? Gotta live in a house.
And so do they.
Not in this house, they don't.
But here's the real question.
And what happened to love thy neighbor if we're being so principled?
They would become our neighbors.
And what about the neighbors you already have, Bev?
I care about them too.
Well, I'm afraid you can't have it both ways.
Okay, assuming...
Why not?
Well, do the boundaries of the neighborhood extend indefinitely? Who shall we invite next? The Red Chinese?
Albert has tentatively come to the bottom of the stairs, jacket off.
But the key question is this.
No. Why not have it both ways?
Darling, I came to talk to Russ.
Excuse me, ma'am?
Why not? If it would benefit someone.
But would they benefit?
If we could make them our neighbors.
They won't be your neighbors, Bev. You're the ones moving away.
Question is, and it's one worth asking.
Sorry to bother you.
Okay, let's assume your information is correct.
Then, suddenly, an
for
enormous
crying
green
out loud.
army footlocker comes sliding down the stairs with a noisy thumpity-thumpity-thumpity thump. Albert jumps out of the way.
Oh,
Sorry,
for
sir. It's my
crying out
fault. That
loud. What the
was
heck is the
me.
matter with
That was
people?
all my doing.
Turn it all.
Oh,
No, it's my fault.
I'm
I'm sorry.
shouting. Everything's fine. So please don't do that.
What,
They're just
what did I tell you? I told you I'd do it. You heard me plain as day.
I'm hurt.
Little mishap, is it?
Little trouble making the corner is all. I'm sorry, it's heavy, I lost my.
Just leave the darn thing where it is.
We can't.
Yeah,
Will
yeah,
one
if I
be of
could,
assistance?
Would you prefer it if I?
Just Leave it!
But it's blocking the way.
No, ma'am, I can step over. It's all right. I got her.
Albert helps Francine climb over the box that now blocks the stairs.
Anyway, let's not drag this out ad infinitum.
Russ, fed up, rises and exits to the basement, slamming the door behind him.
Russ, don't.
1 second, if I might. Sorry, Francine, is it?
Yes, sir.
Francine, we've just been having a little conversation here, and I was wondering if maybe you could spare us a couple of minutes of your time.
Oh, what good does that do? Go next door, talk to the Olsons. Talk to those who stand to lose.
I want to pose a little hypothetical to you. What if we said this? Let's imagine you and your husband here. Let's say that the two of you had the opportunity to move from your current home into a different neighborhood, and let's say that neighborhood happened to be this one.
Well, I don't think that we would financially.
But for the sake of argument, say you had the wherewithal. Would this be the sort of neighborhood you'd find an attractive place in which to live?
Oh, this is all so silly.
It's a nice neighborhood.
No, I'm asking, would the two of you, would your I assume you have children.
3 children.
Oh, super. So, with your children, might this be the sort of place, bearing in mind that they too would stand to be affected?
This is confusing things. It's confusing the issue.
It's a very nice neighborhood.
No, be honest. We want you to say.
I think what Jim is asking in his way.
He means living next to white folks.
Well, yes.
Well,
Francine and I have, over the years, the two of us have shared so many wonderful. Oh, remember the time that squirrel came in through the window?
yes, I do.
Oh, well, that was just the silliest. The two of us were just hysterical, weren't we?
Think of it this way.
We still laugh about that.
I think that you'd agree, I'm assuming, that in the world there exist certain differences. Agreed?
What sort of differences?
That people live differently
Yes,
from one another.
I agree with that.
Different customs, different foods even. And here's a funny, my wife Betsy, now Betsy's family happens to be Scandinavian, and on holidays they eat a thing known as lutefisk. And this is a dish which I can tell you is not to my liking at all. And it's, oh my goodness, let's just say it's gelatinous.
Carl?
What did he say?
Lutefisk.
What?
Carl, can you tell her?
In a moment.
I'll write it down.
So, certain groups, they tend to eat certain things, am I right?
I've never heard of that dish.
But, for example, if Mrs. Stoller here were to send you to shop at Gelman's, do you find where you're standing in the aisles at Gelman's, does it generally strike you as the kind of market where you could find the particular foods your family enjoys?
It's a very nice store.
What if we were to say this?
Mr. Gelman's a nice man.
Bev hands Betsy the pad of paper.
But I mean your preferred food items. I mean, would such things even be available at Gelman's?
Do they carry collards and pig feet?
Francine shoots a look at Albert.
Because our show couldn't stop nowhere and didn't sell no pig feet.
Pause. All stare at Albert.
Well, I think Albert's being humorous here, and it's...
Oh, Holoubek. Okay.
But I will say this.
I like spaghetti and meatballs.
You do find differences in modes of worship. If you take First Presbyterian, and that's a church down in Hamilton Park, and I've taken fellowship there, and I can tell you, differences are notable.
Jim?
Not a value judgment, apples and oranges. Just as how we have our organ here at St. Thomas for accompaniment, whereas at First Presbyterian they prefer a piano and occasionally, well, tambourines.
What's wrong with tambourines?
Nothing wrong.
I like tambourines.
I like tambourines as much as the next person.
Russ returns from the basement carrying his work gloves. He is calmer.
Well, let me ask this. Excuse me. Francine, was it?
Yes, sir.
Francine, may I ask, do you ski?
Do I
Or your husband, either of you?
ski?
Downhill skiing.
We don't ski. No.
And this is my point. The children who attend St. Stanislaus. Once a year, we take the middle schoolers up to Indian Head Mountain, and I can tell you in all the time I've been there, I have not once seen a colored family on those slopes. Now, what accounts for that? Certainly not any deficit in ability. So what I have to conclude is that for some reason, there is just something about the pastime of skiing that doesn't appeal to the Negro community. And feel free to prove me wrong.
Karl.
But you'll have to show me where to find the skiing Negroes.
Karl.
We all modulate our voices.
It's sold, Karl. The house is sold.
I understand that.
The ink is dry.
And we all understand your reasons. And no one holds that against you.
Trek's coming on Monday.
Fully aware.
And that's all there is to that.
However, there is one possibility.
Nope.
If you'll hear me out.
Don't see the point.
Because we went ahead and made a counter offer to these people.
Who did?
The community association.
An offer on this house?
Very reasonable offer.
But they just bought it, Karl.
As opposed to the amount for which you offered the property, Russ, which was far below the assessor's value.
Well, we're entitled to give it away if that's our prerogative.
For this type of residence, all of which is neither here nor there since the family rejected our offer. However,
well, why are we even talking about this?
Well, Dawn has pointed out to me that as the seller of the property, you do have a 60-day option to place it in receivership with a transacting bank to indemnify yourself against liability. Now, that's generally with commercial properties, but in this instance...
Nope.
I think that in as much as Ted deceived you about the buyers, that the bank could still halt the sale, and it would be a simple matter of a signature, if I could finish.
Prefer it if you didn't.
Karl.
And for all we know, this family could be perfectly lovely.
Well, that's hardly the point, is it?
Maybe it's a point to consider.
Bev, I'm not here to solve society's problems. I'm simply telling you what will happen, and it will happen as follows. First, one family will leave, and then another, and each time they do, the values of these properties will decline. And once that process begins, once you break that egg, Bev, well, the king's horses, etc., etc. Thus, you see, those who don't have the opportunity to simply pick up and move at the drop of a hat, then those folks are left holding the bag. And it's a fairly worthless bag at that point.
I don't like the tone this is taking.
Okay, tell you what.
And let's imagine if the tables were turned. Suppose a number of white families started marching into their community. Well, actually, that might be to your advantage, but...
Karl. Need you to stop now.
Sorry. Maybe not handled with the...
It's all right.
Utmost delicacy.
But maybe time to let it drop.
Didn't mean to turn it into a public referendum. But you do understand.
No. That's it. You hear me? Done. All done.
Pause. In the near distance, a church bell begins to ring.
Is it 4 o'clock?
Well, Russ, if I might,
Nope.
if I could just say this.
No. Karl?
Well, if you let me.
No more.
Beth, I get the impression your husband is telling me I'm not permitted to speak.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, Russ, I'm gonna ask you to at least. I'm gonna ask you at least to keep an open.
Karl, what did I just ask you?
Well, I think you're being a tad unreasonable.
Well, I think we've reached the end of this particular discussion.
Is that right?
Afraid it is.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Then what about this?
Karl?
Well, I believe the Constitution endows me with a right to speak.
Well, then you go and do that in your own home.
Beth? He's not being serious, is he?
Karl?
What, am I being silenced?
Not gonna ask you again.
Well, this is a new experience for me.
So be it.
Bit like the Soviet Union. I am truly surprised.
Well, surprised.
And a little disappointed.
Sorry to disappoint you.
A real shame for all concerned.
Well, that's the way things go sometimes.
Apparently so.
Anyway, appreciate you stopping by.
Well, I see.
Betsy, too.
Very well.
Okay, then? Okay.
Silence. Karl stands and moves towards Betsy. They slowly exit through the open door.
Karl, what happened? Miss Scholler, if we're done talking here.
Yes, I think I will take this opportunity.
But Karl immediately returns, Betsy following.
However,
Karl,
I don't imagine that this particular family are entirely aware of why they found such an agreeable price for the property. Well, don't suppose they know that aspect of it, do they? And let's say someone was to inform them of those facts. Let's say that was to happen.
You really don't know when to quit, do you?
Because I think that might be an interesting conversation to have.
So I'll be seeing you on Monday.
Well, Karl, you go ahead and do what you think is right. But I'll tell you one thing. What you're going to do right now.
Well, I have a responsibility to the community as a whole. Now, I can't afford
You're going to take yourself right through that door.
I can't afford to simply pursue my own
house.
selfish interests.
Man, what a son of a bitch.
Just don't.
If you honestly think I give a rat's ass about the goddamn... What do you mean the community?
Okay.
Where every time I go for a haircut, where they all sit and stare like goddamn Grim Reaper walked in the barbershop door. That community?
My wife is 2 weeks away from giving birth to a child.
Where Bev stops at Gremlin's for a quart of milk, and they look at her like she's got the goddamn plague. That the community I'm supposed to be looking out for?
A community with soon-to-be children.
The Apostle Matthew.
Oh, no. I'm talking now.
I am ashamed of every one of us.
Betsy, wait in the car.
Well, you go right ahead, and you tell those folks whatever they want, Karl. And while you're at it, why don't you tell them about everything the community did for my son? I mean, Jesus Christ. Murray Gelman never goes and hires a goddamn retarded kid, but my boy. Sorry. No work for you, bub.
People were frightened, Russ.
Of what? Is he gonna snap? Gonna go and kill another bunch of people? Send him off to defend the goddamn country? Like he's told only to find out the kind of sons of bitches he's defending?
He did not do the things they claimed he did. He would never.
Ah, Jesus, of course he did. Of course he did, Bev. He's confessed to what he did. Sit around all day with your head in the sand. It doesn't change the facts of what he did.
Not to innocent people in that country, and not to women or children. I mean, maybe he lost his temper in
Ugh, for Christ's sake, what do you think happens in a goddamn war? They told him to secure the territory, not go knocking on doors asking for permission. And if he was a man enough to admit what he did, maybe you ought to have the decency to do the same thing.
You remember? Francine remembers what he was like.
Russ makes a sound of disgust and goes to the footlocker. Under the following, he unlocks and opens the lid.
How he loved to read and think. That's just the kind of boy he was, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And the drawings, the most realistic drawings. I think a lot of people didn't realize.
Bev, it was never my intention to stir up
Oh, no, I think maybe it was.
such acrimonious feelings, but
Maybe if you had known
there is a situation
someone had taken the time, the way Francine took the time.
which
Russ has produced an envelope from the footlocker. He steps forward, removing the letter on yellow legal paper.
Here you go, Karl. Let's all read a little something, shall we?
What are you?
Dear Mom and Dad,
Stop it.
I know you'll probably blame yourselves.
Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Russ, don't.
I think you're unstable, Ross. I really do.
You see what this is like? You see? Well, I refuse to live this way any longer.
She goes into the bathroom and slams the door behind her.
Dear Mom and Dad,
Russ,
I know you'll probably blame yourselves for what I've done,
need you to calm down.
and you could go fuck yourself.
Well, that is over the line, mister. That is not language I will tolerate in front of my wife.
She's deaf, Karl, completely. Hello, Betsy, go fuck yourself.
Betsy smiles, waves back.
So here's what I'll do for you, Karl. And make you 10 copies of this. You can hand them out to the Rotary, or better yet, put it in the newsletter. Rotary News. Kid comes back from Korea, goes upstairs, and wraps an extension cord around his neck. Talk that over at the lunch buffet next week. And Francine walking in at 9 in the morning to find him there. You be my guest, Karl. You go ahead and tell him. And tell those people what kind of house they're moving into and see if that stops him. Because I'll tell you what, I don't give a shit if 100 Ubangi tribesmen with a bone through the nose overrun this goddamn place, because I'm through with all of you motherfucking sons of bitches. Every one of you.
All stand in silence. We can hear Bev crying from behind the bathroom door. Russ slowly folds the letter. Finally.
Maybe we should bow our heads for a second.
Well, maybe I should punch you in the face.
Russ moves toward Jim, who, in backing away, inadvertently tumbles backwards over a box, toppling a floor lamp as he goes.
Whoa,
Easy now. Easy now, easy does it.
People.
Go. Betsy,
Stay out of it. Just stay out.
He runs out of the front door. Albert puts his hand on Russ's shoulder.
Hang on, let's be civilized now.
Oh, don't you touch me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Put your hands on me? No, sir. Not in my house, you don't.
Gritting his teeth as he copes with his hernia.
I'm all right.
What the hell do you think you're doing here? Who are you talking to? Who do you think?
oh shit. Oh, very manly, Russ. Threatened a minister.
Why are you talking to me like you're the...
Very masculine.
I think they're all a bunch of idiots. And who's the biggest idiot of all to let yourself get dragged into the middle of it? What you gonna be now? This big peacemaker come to save the day?
Karl and Jim exit out the front door.
You're mentally unstable, Russ.
Let them knock each other's brains out for all I care. I'm done working with these people 2 days from now, and you never worked for them at all. So what the hell do you care what they do? And now I'm gonna go to the goddamn car.
Francine exits. During their marital squabble, Russ has returned the letter to the footlocker and slammed the lid. He now drags it out of the room and into the kitchen. Albert is left alone in the middle of the room. He stands idly for a moment, then moves to right the overturned floor lamp. As he does, Beth enters from the bathroom, blowing her nose.
It's all right. Nothing's broken.
Oh, don't mind that, but thank you so much.
No trouble.
And do let me offer you some money for your help.
Oh, no, ma'am. That's
Are
all
you
right. Yes, ma'am.
Well, here then. Let me at least give you 50 cents.
No, now you keep your money.
How about $1? Take $1. I don't care.
Ma'am?
Or take 2. It's just money.
Happy to help.
Or take something. You have to take something.
No, ma'am, but...
What about this chafing dish? Did you see this dish?
Well, we got plenty of dishes.
Not one of these. Francine told me. She said
that's
you didn't
very
have one
kind
and
of
that
you,
somebody
but...
should take it.
But we don't need it,
So you
ma'am.
can just let me wrap it up for you.
Ma'am, we don't want your things. Please. We got our own things.
Well,
Trying to explain to you.
if that's the attitude, then I just don't know what to say anymore. I really don't, if that's what we're coming to.
Ma'am, everybody's sorry for your loss.
You know, I would be so proud, so honored to have you and Francine as our neighbors and the 2 children.
3 children.
3 children. We would, well, maybe we should learn what the other person eats. Maybe that would be the solution to some of the. If someday we could all sit down together at one big table and.
Evening, ma'am.
Albert goes. Beth is left alone. After a moment, Russ enters to fetch the shovel. He carries a pair of work gloves. Seeing Bev, he stops, unsure of what to say.
Where'd you find the gloves?
Under the sink.
Where are you going to dig the hole?
Under the, what's that big tree called?
Great Myrtle?
Under that.
Kinda late now, isn't it?
I'll do it tomorrow.
He leans the shovel against the wall. Pause. He stands idly, apologetically.
Kinda lost my temper.
That's what happens. As we know.
He slowly moves to sit in the chair he sat in at the start of the act, then looks back at Beth.
You know what I did the other day? Up there at the house?
What?
Driveway to the office. Timed it. Know how long that's gonna take me now?
5 minutes?
6.5.
You'll have a leisurely breakfast.
Read the paper, cup of coffee, and bang. 5:07. Right back at your doorstep.
What'll I do in between?
Well, gee, I guess whatever you, any number of
Things.
projects to keep you occupied.
Suppose you're right.
He turns on the transistor radio. Music. He looks back at Bev, who stares into space.
Mulan Vader!
Bev smiles vaguely. The lights slowly fade. End of Act 1.
Yo, how we feel? Do we want to... Jackson, Sarah, y'all here?
Jackson looks like he's here.
Oh.
Maybe.
He is.
Hey, Sarah?
Sarah, where art thou? Yes, I'm right here. I'm here. I'm sorry.
All right, Chloe, you're good to start.
Act 2, September 2009, 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. There is an overall shabbiness to the place that was not the case 50 years earlier. The wooden staircase railing has been replaced with a cheaper metal one. The oak mantelpiece and most of the woodwork have been painted over several times. The fireplace opening is bricked in, linoleum covers large areas of the wooden floor, and plaster has crumbled from the lath in places. The kitchen door is now missing, and we can see through to an exterior door. The front door stands propped open. Lights rise to find 6 people facing each other in a rough circle. To one side, Steve and Lindsey with Kathy, and to the other, Kevin and Lena with Tom, all dressed in generic casual clothes for a weekend afternoon. It is warm, and some have iced drinks. Lindsey is visibly pregnant. They sit upon improvised seating, crates, abandoned furniture, etc. Steve, Lindsey, and Kathy study photocopy documents while the others watch. Finally,
Everybody good?
I'm good.
Good by me.
Go for it.
So, I guess we should start right at the top.
Question.
And I know we all got questions.
The terminology.
So let's go one at a time. Steve?
Well, the term frontage.
Right.
Frontage means.
What are we looking?
First page.
Frontage means. Did you want to?
Means the portion facing the street.
Thus, front.
Portion of the property?
Of the structure.
Or portion of the structure? Oh.
The facade.
I'm not saying it.
Second paragraph.
Bottom of the page.
Where it says minimum recess of frontage?
Meaning distance from.
From the edge of the property.
Exactly.
Is what?
Is the recess.
Not the frontage.
The frontage is what you're measuring to.
Got it.
I'm confused.
An edge of the property means as measured from the curb?
Correct.
Not from the sidewalk?
From the curb.
I'll check, but I don't think that's right.
Up to and including.
But the sidewalk falls under the easement.
Right?
So if it's part of the easement, then it can't be part of the property, per se.
By definition, the property is inclusive of the easement. The easement is legal passage across the property.
I don't think you're right.
So, my understanding has always been
Okay.
Sorry, but does any of that really matter?
Well, it might.
I mean, I don't see how any of that
The
really
language.
impacts the outcome of the specific problem that.
But I don't want to get in a situation where we thought we found a solution only to have it turn out we're screwed because of the language.
Wait,
The language is clear to me.
and who's being screwed?
No.
No one's screwing anyone.
I didn't mean like screwed over. I meant like maybe we screwed ourselves.
But how does that address the height issue?
The elevation.
But if the elevation is conditional on the perimeter, right?
That's the idea.
If I'm reading correctly.
But the perimeter isn't changing.
But we're saying if it could.
But we've established that it can't.
But let's say it did.
But I'm saying it won't.
But I'm saying what if?
But I'm saying what if we discuss?
Kathy's cell phone rings.
Okay, but do you have to say it like that?
Like what?
In that way?
What way?
it's Hector. I better.
Sorry.
Did I say something in a way?
Not that I noticed.
Hi, Hector.
The architect.
Who ought to be here?
No, we're doing it now. No, we're here at the house.
Well, if you'd rather wait and do this, when can he?
No.
Well, I think we both know what's going to happen.
I don't give a.
He's going to go.
I believe he's working for us, right? Not the other way around.
No, we're here with Tom. I forgot your last name.
Driscoll.
Driscoll. So Tom Driscoll and the people from the neighborhood thing, the property owners thing.
And can I just say, I am in love with this neighborhood.
Great neighborhood.
Totally great.
Well, that's what we're trying to prevent.
And the thing for me is my current commute, which is slowly eroding my soul.
How far are you coming from?
Glen Meadow.
Oof.
And exactly. And if you work downtown,
Where downtown?
Donnelly and Faber.
On Jackson, right? Donnelly and...
Yes, Jackson east of...
Yeah, I'm across the street.
Where?
You know, the big red building?
I ate lunch in that building.
Capital Equities?
You're kidding me.
I kid you not.
And from here to downtown is like, what, 5 minutes?
You ever meet Kyle Hendrickson?
I work with Kyle Hendrickson.
No, but I do think you're being a little paranoid because we're not going to let that happen.
Let me talk to him.
I'm not going to let that happen.
Kathy.
Wait, Lindsey wants to...
Let me do it. Hector?
I'm obviously not equipped to deal with...
I thought you were in Seattle.
What's the problem?
Tell you later.
No. Kathy's here. Kathy's not going to let that...
Lindsey rolls her eyes at the others.
Spaniards.
2 seconds.
Lindsey exits out the front door. Pause. The others wait.
Spaniards?
Architect, you know.
Spanish.
Temperamental.
Toro.
Exactly.
Seemed cool to me.
You talked to him?
On the phone, yeah.
He's a good guy.
We were in Spain last year.
Is that right?
Me, my husband, Spain, Morocco.
I just meant with all the paperwork and everything. And then we'd add him into the mix.
I hear you.
Cool our heads, you know.
Prevail.
Right?
Spain's fantastic. We did 4 days in Barcelona, saw the, what's it called? The cathedral, big, crazy...
Sagrada Familia.
That, which I loved. Likewise, the food, which I would happily eat every day for the rest of my life.
Paella?
Oh, then Morocco to to Marrakesh, which I don't know how you feel about the heat, but oh my god. And they keep giving you hot tea, like how refreshing. And some theory about how you're supposed to sweat in order to feel cool, which you'll have to explain to me sometime.
Hot in here.
Very hot.
And to top it off, I don't want to bore you with the whole ugly saga, but when they tell you not to eat the produce, take heed.
Like Mexico.
Because if you ever need to know where to find a doctor at 2 a.m. in the capital of Morocco when your husband is doubled over with dysentery,
Whoa.
give me a call.
Said 2 seconds.
Went to Prague last April.
Oh, I love Prague. Prague is beautiful.
Very pretty.
The architecture.
That bridge.
Oh, and it's small is what's nice. So you can do it all in a couple of days.
And then from there to Zurich.
Never been to Switzerland, but I like the cheese.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but I was hoping I could say something to everyone, if you don't mind. As long as we're stopped.
No, dude.
Yeah, please.
By all means.
All right, well, I just feel like it's very important for me to express before we start getting into the details.
Sorry, but maybe we should wait for Lindsey, don't you think? If it's something important. I mean, otherwise...
Do you mind?
You'll wind up repeating yourself.
That okay with you?
It's fine with me.
But hold that thought.
I will.
Little pause. Tom drums his fingers.
Meanwhile,
Maybe we should look at page 3?
Maybe we should.
Catch her up, wouldn't she? If that's cool with you guys.
it's cool with me.
Good.
Let's do it.
Just 'cause I gotta be out of here by, like, 4.
Forge ahead.
Page 3,
Middle of 3?
section 2.
Roman numeral 2.
Rabbit, by the way.
What? What'd you say?
Nothing.
Couldn't hear you.
The capital.
Of what?
Morocco. She said Marrakesh.
It is the capital.
No.
I'd have said Marrakesh.
Rabbit.
I don't think you're right,
No, it is.
but possibly.
Definitely. Anyway.
Or wait,
Anyway.
it's Tangiers.
Nope.
Why am I thinking Tangiers?
Don't know.
Maybe we just landed in Oh, wait, no, we didn't.
What's the
What's-
capital? Oh
I
shit, that's
know
not
what
me.
it is. Tangiers was the old capital,
No.
the historic capital.
Lindsey returns.
So sorry.
Everything all right?
It's fine. It's just he said he was going to be in Seattle, so we went ahead and scheduled this without him, and now he's feeling a little proprietary. Anyways, blah blah.
So we skipped ahead.
Great.
To page 3?
Middle of 3.
And since I think we'd all basically agree that
Hey. Sorry. What's the capital of Morocco?
The what?
The capital.
Where? What are you talking about?
Of Morocco.
Why?
Quick, just.
I have no idea.
Yes, you do.
I said Marrakesh.
No.
Marrakesh, yeah.
No, letter. No. Rabbit.
Whatever.
Trying to figure out what it was.
Why?
Well, she said she went to the capital of Morocco,
So?
and it's not the capital.
Maybe they changed it.
Who?
The Moroccans.
To what?
Whatever it is now.
Which is rabbit.
Okay.
so
Oh, wait, you know what it is? It's Timbuktu.
No.
The old capital, the historic. Oh, that's what because that was part of our package.
Timbuktu is in Mali.
But the ancient capital.
Yeah. Of Mali.
I thought Melee was in the Pacific.
In.
Where do they have the shadow puppets?
Are you talking about Bali?
Same difference.
No. The difference.
And who gives a shit?
Dan has entered through the kitchen door. Work clothes, mustache, chewing gum. He lingers at a distance.
Is
See,
that they happen
sorry, I didn't mean
in
to interrupt
every
anyone,
distinct
but-
country, so I guess I give a shit. And could you possibly not talk to me like a child?
Excuse me?
All turn to Lena.
I was hoping to say something if I could.
Oh.
right. Sorry. Lena had wanted to mention something, and it sounded kind of important, so.
So you don't get to ask permission. I'm trying to be polite.
we're totally rude.
No, you're not.
It's my family, Irish Catholic, Blarney.
Please, my husband, I'm half Jewish, half Italian.
Is that right?
Get a word in edgewise.
I believe that.
Anyway, Lena,
Thank you.
Wait, Lena, right?
Lena?
short for Leonora?
No?
I knew a Leonora.
It was my aunt's name.
Anyway, Lena, Kevin.
Kathy.
Kathy, Lindsey, Steve.
And Tom.
Don't forget Tom.
Tom, we know, so.
Ding dong.
All turn to Dan.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
is there a Steve anywhere?
Yeah.
Yes, Steve?
Yeah.
Hector said if there's a problem, talk to Steve.
That's me.
How y'all doing?
Hey, man, good.
Doing all right. Fine, thank you.
Personally, fine.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're digging that trench back there, you know?
Yeah.
Out and back.
Yeah.
For the conduit line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because before you hook up that line, you gotta bury that conduit.
Yeah.
And so in order to dig that trench, we gotta take out that tree, right?
Right.
A dead tree back there.
Yeah.
Because those roots, they go down like maybe 8 feet.
Yeah.
Which is why we're taking out that tree.
Right.
Did you know that thing is dead?
Well, hey, maybe we should. Sorry, you guys go ahead and.
Oops.
No, it's just two things at once.
We can wait.
No. You guys keep. You want to show me?
Let me show you.
Let me take a look.
Show you what we're dealing with.
Dan and Steve exit out the back door.
Tell you one thing though, it's hot out there.
Lena fans herself, a little pause, then.
Now, I don't remember, what were we?
Page 3.
Right.
Middle of 3.
So, knowing as we do that the height continues to be the sticking point, and by the way, the reason the petition was drawn up this way in the first place, I mean, nobody wants to be inflexible, but the idea was to set some basic guidelines whereby if, say, the height is the problem, like it is here, then one option would be to reduce the total exterior volume, like your husband was saying. And that's the rationale behind the table at the bottom of the page. So what those figures mean, essentially, is that with each additional foot of elevation beyond the maximum limit, there'd be a corresponding reduction in volume. And the numbers are based on the scale of the original structures, which is relatively consistent over the 12-block radius, and of which this house is a fairly typical example. Now,
Except we know they're not.
not what?
Not consistent.
Saying relatively.
A lot of variables.
We know that.
Well, the size of the lots, for starters.
Right, but...
Year of construction.
Right, so the hope was that, by establishing a couple of regulations up front, hopefully we avoid this kind of situation in the future, because obviously it's a pain in the ass for everybody. So assuming the Landmarks Committee passes this part of the petition next week...
Assuming.
Safe assumption.
And if the Landmarks Committee really wants to pick that fight with the zoning department, that is their business, but that's a matter of if and when.
Why is this confrontational?
Because somebody might have raised these issues when the plans went to the zoning department 5 months ago.
Kathy.
I mean, no one had any objection back then.
What can I say? We talked about renovation, we discussed it, but these houses are so charming. I know it's a shame, but when you figure out the crack in the subfloor and the cost of the lead abatement and the mark like this one, it just makes more sense to start from scratch.
Tom's cell phone rings. He tries to ignore it.
Right, but the Owners Association has a vested interest. Kevin and Lena called me up last month. They say, Tom, we've got this problem. These people are planning to build a house that's a full 15 feet taller than all the adjacent structures.
No, 15, is that right?
For Tom.
And I think we'd all agree that there's a mutual benefit to maintaining the integrity, the architectural integrity.
Want to get that?
Historically significant, goddammit, neighborhood. Yeah.
Steve returns as Tom talks, leaving the kitchen door open.
Yeah, okay, but don't call me that with that in the middle of a Saturday. Well, then give it to Marla. Because it's Marla's account? Well, then where the fuck is Sorry.
Tom crosses the room to take the call.
What's happening?
I don't know.
You know, it might be a good idea if we all turned off our phones.
Excellent idea.
Get your problem solved?
Did what?
I'll bet.
Yeah, I don't know. They hit something.
What's something?
I don't know.
Something dangerous?
I don't know.
Is it going to explode?
It's not. We're putting in a koi pond, and there's a filtration system that has to hook into the municipal. Look, anyway, they ran into some kind of whatever. So what's it? Page 3?
But maybe wait for Tom?
Standing right there.
If we're getting into the legal stuff,
I agree.
because I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
But Kathy's a lawyer.
And he's the one with the time issue.
As long as we're out here by 4.
It's 3:30.
We'll be done by 4.
Sorry about all this.
Crazy.
All turn vaguely to Tom, who gestures apologetically and mouths sorry. Lena sighs, fans herself.
When's the baby due?
Oh, November.
In time for turkey.
I know.
Boy or girl?
Steve is about to answer.
No. I don't want to know. Ask Steve. Steve saw the ultrasound. La 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 la.
Steve mouths the word boy, then touches Lindsey's knee.
Either way, as long as knowing it's healthy.
Knock on wood.
But something tells me it's a girl.
Pause. Feet tap. Kathy takes out her phone, dials a number, listens.
You guys have kids?
3.
Wow.
Hmm.
How great for you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kathy starts to check her messages.
So, Kyle Hendrickson.
Kyle Hendrickson?
Kyle Hendrickson, who, may I add, kicked my ass in the 10th grade.
Who is this?
Wait. Little Kyle Hendrickson?
Like the one solitary black dude in my entire high school.
Kicked your ass?
Publicly kicked.
Kyle Hendrickson's like, what, 5'2"?
Wait, when?
5'5", JV wrestling team, 10th grade.
I think that might officially make you...
A pussy.
think it might.
Who are you talking about?
Okay. Remember I ran into a guy?
No.
Remember last week? I said a guy from middle school?
No.
I was meeting you downtown. Oh, and he told me the joke?
Right?
The joke I told you?
I don't remember.
The joke about... Well, neither do I at the moment, but it was a joke we both thought was funny.
Okay.
Anyway, that guy, that is Kyle Hendrickson, who he works with.
Glad we cleared that up.
Oh.
What?
Wait.
What?
Wait.
What?
The joke. It's about a guy. Remember, guy who goes to jail?
No.
Oh, white collar criminal goes to jail. Remember? And they put him in a cell with...
Oh. No.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
How old are your kids?
What's the matter? What's the matter?
Oh, sorry. 9, 10, and 12.
Wow.
What's your problem?
Steve,
I was telling the joke.
later.
You said, remind me what joke,
Okay.
but now I'm not allowed to tell it?
Stop a second.
But anyway, so 2 guys stuck in a jail cell.
Steven.
I'm sorry, and I don't mean to keep interrupting, but can somebody please explain to me what it is we're doing here?
Pause. Tom turns. All feel the chill from Lena.
Just send me the fucking document.
Kathy and Tom discreetly hang up their respective phones.
I mean, I know I'm not the only person who takes the situation seriously, and I don't like having to be this way, but I've been sitting here for the last 15 minutes waiting for a turn to speak.
I'm so sorry. I really am.
Hey, sorry about that.
And meanwhile, it seems like nothing is even remotely getting accomplished.
I agree.
A truck horn sounds outside.
So go ahead and say what you. And could you please not tell me when to. I'm not telling. They were having a conversation, and now they stop. I try not to intrude. Just be friendly. On other people's conversations, when they're in the middle of them, I'm not trying to be unfriendly.
No, it's us.
No, it's not.
No, it is.
You're being friendly. I'm being friendly.
She's being friendly.
I'm being friendly.
If anybody's not being friendly, well, maybe the friendly thing to do would be for us to respect each other's time. Would that be all right?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Thank you.
really.
Because
I'm glad I
seriously, I thought we'd
Say it.
No, you guys, was my fault? That was me.
Was I disrespectful?
Horn sounds again.
Anyway,
All right. Well, I have no way of knowing what sort of connection you have to the neighborhood where you grew up.
Horn again. Steve turns.
just shut the door. Just shut the fucking.
Steve jumps up to shut the kitchen door.
Lindsey, the rest of your line.
Oh, sorry. The neighborhood where.
And some of our concerns have to do with a particular period in history and the things that people experience here in this community during that period.
Steve returns to the circle. Sits.
Sorry.
Both good and bad. And on a personal level, I just have a lot of respect for the people who went through the experiences and still managed to carve out a life for themselves and create a community despite a whole lot of obstacles,
As well, you should.
some of which still exist. That's just a part of my history and my parents' history, and honoring the connection to that history. And no one, myself included, likes having to dictate what you can and can't do with your own home. But there's just a lot of pride and a lot of memories in these houses. And for some of us, that connection still has value, if that makes any sense.
Total sense.
For those of us who have remained,
Absolutely.
and respecting that memory, that has value too. And at least that's what I believe. And that's what I've been wanting to say.
All nod solemnly for several seconds at Lena's noble speech.
Can I ask,
Let her finish.
I'm sorry.
I was finished. I was finished.
Sorry.
Right. So, So when you use the word value,
Historical value?
You read the petition.
Yeah,
Spelled out pretty clearly.
right. But what I mean is,
My great aunt
so you don't literally mean
was one of the first people of
monetary
color
value,
to,
right?
in a sense, she was a
Or
pioneer.
maybe you do. No, I understand, and correct me if, but in my understanding was that the value of this property, of these properties, had gone up.
They have.
Yours included.
That's true.
Way up.
And we don't like to keep it that way.
But you're not suggesting. Oh my. I'm so sorry. If y'all could see what I'm trying to read right now.
Oh.
So this is the copy Rick sent us.
I'm so sorry.
Where was I? You're not. Oh, wait, where am I?
You're not suggesting that you.
Oh, thank you. But you're not suggesting. Are you that? Well, when we build our house.
Lindsey puts a hand on Steve.
Look, I, for one, I am really grateful for what you have said, but this is why we sometimes feel defensive, because we just love this neighborhood.
We do.
We completely do, and we would never want to carelessly.
What does that say?
Run roughshod.
Roughshod? Run roughshod.
Over anyone's, and I totally admit I am the one who was resistant, especially with the schools and everything. But once I stopped seeing the neighborhood the way it used to be and could see what it is now and its potential.
Used to what?
What do you mean?
What it used to be?
What you said about the history of.
Historically, the changing, demographic.
Although originally, wasn't it? What does that say?
German.
Thank you. Wasn't it German predominantly?
German and Irish.
Depending how far back you go.
It's funny though, even though my father was German, but back there when they were living here.
Wait, did I know this?
Told you that.
In this neighborhood.
They went to church at St. Stan's. Isn't that crazy?
Is that right?
This is the late 50s. My father was a Rotarian, but my mother, well, she was deaf. I told you that.
I knew that.
Oh, that's a shame.
Thank you. It was congenital. But then she got pregnant with me, and they moved out to Rosemont. Anyway, her family, they were Swedish.
There was a great article 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw this, about the history of the changing ethnic
distribution.
I can believe that.
Of the neighborhood, and how in the 70s, 80s, how that was followed by a period of rapid
decline.
No, not no
growth.
I mean decline.
Of growing.
I mean there was trouble.
Not trouble. She didn't mean.
There was trouble.
Economic trouble.
Violence is trouble.
That's what I'm saying.
Drugs are trouble.
Exactly.
And the violence is an outgrowth criminalization of those drugs.
Because, the two of us was both crackheads.
Then.
It's funny.
I'm kidding you.
I know
I'm
you're
just
kidding,
messing
but
with
that
you.
was the perception. He's being funny.
I know he was, and it was funny, but when people are systematically dehumanized, you just have been placed in some faceless institutional
project.
I mean, like it or not, that's the kind of environment not too conductive to
That's true.
The formality of community.
Horrible.
Tough place to grow up.
With the effect on children.
On anyone.
And to take his what been a prose, well, not preposterous, but a solidary middle class,
Enclave.
and undermine the entire economic
Infrastructure.
by warehousing people inside of these.
But that's the thing, right? If you construct some artificial semblance of a community and then isolate people within that, I mean, what would be the definition of a ghetto, you know? A ghetto is a place where
But who uses that word?
where people are sequestered, right? The definition, I'm saying.
Well, my family.
Like Prague. If you think of, okay, Prague had that ghetto, right? A Jewish ghetto.
We've been to Prague.
Oh my god, Prague is beautiful.
Kevin wiggles his hand.
I love Prague. Didn't you love it?
Prague's crowded.
Ugh, and the food sucks. Or is that just me?
But I'm saying it's not like one day all these Jews were sitting around Prague looking at the real estate section going, hey, there's an idea. Let's all go live in that ghetto, right?
A beat where they all avoid Steve's comment. Then,
When were you in Prague?
Last April. First Prague, then Zurich.
I want to go back.
You ski?
Him?
Hmm? You mean like downhill?
That I'd like to see.
Even better to Ever been to Switzerland?
I can ski. I have skied.
Get that on video.
Why is that funny?
Sorry.
Seriously, what is it about the idea of me skiing that you find so highly...
Anyway,
I can't... What does it say?
Riseable?
Riseable.
Right.
I just mean you like to golf and you go to Scotland. And if you like to ski.
just trying to picture it.
Gratuitous.
Anyway,
I can't ski because I was.
Yes, maybe we should try to stick
to the topic at hand.
The topic at hand.
Where were we?
page 3.
Ugh, you're kidding.
Nope.
How can we still be?
I don't know.
How is that possible?
And it is now 3:45.
And I'm sorry for taking time.
No, what you said was great.
I wasn't trying to romanticize.
You didn't.
Nothing romantic about being poor.
But it was your neighborhood.
Wait, what street?
Off of Larrabee.
My parents lived on Claremont.
You know, would have been neighbors. But I didn't mean to make it about my personal connection to the house. It's more about the principle. You can't live in a principle.
You had a personal connection
To the house.
to this house.
Her aunt. I don't want to not lived here.
Wait, who?
Sort of besides the point, but yes. Great aunt. On my mother's side.
You mean here.
And this was 50 years ago.
Here in this house.
For quite some time, actually.
Whoa.
Oh my. So wait, so
This exact house?
like you've been in this room?
I used to climb a tree in the backyard.
Oh my
Whoa.
god.
A crepe myrtle tree.
Well, that is just bizarre.
Any rate, her great aunt, and she had to save a long time to be able to afford a house like this. She was a domestic worker.
Okay.
And a house isn't cheap. Not here anyway. Here at that time. At that time, well, when I was growing up, I really don't remember seeing a single white face in this neighborhood pretty much my entire, well, one, you said. Who? What's his name? Mr. Wheeler? Mr. Wheeler. I I didn't I don't think anybody knew his first name. He was oh, what? At the grocery store. Bagged the groceries at the super well, back then it was Gelman's, but they tore it down Gelman's. And that became Super Saver. Well, then they tore down Super Savers. So you know what where the Foods is?
And what happened to Mr. Wheeler?
Dead probably. He was, you know, developmentally.
Oh,
Oh,
that's why that upset
wow.
me.
Depressing.
Niece with Asperger's syndrome.
But given the makeup of the neighborhood at that time and the price of a home like this one, the question naturally arises as to whether it was the thing that happened here in the house, whether it was in some way played a factor in making a place like this affordable of her income.
Dang.
The sad, you know,
I don't.
tragic thing that happened.
What thing?
Well, a long time ago, but
In this house?
and I'm just saying, since she was one of the very first people of color,
Wait, something happened in the house?
What? Somebody died or?
not important.
That we should not be concerned about?
No. Just that there'd been a family who had a son who'd been in the army, Korea maybe, and who said a few years after he came back from the war, killed himself.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh my god.
that.
Oh my god.
Which my great aunt didn't know at the time,
Oh my god, that is just.
though I assumed you did.
No.
That is just, and wait, they went ahead and sold the house too
Hmm.
Wow.
without telling her that? Because nobody ever told us that.
Well, they wouldn't, would they?
50 years ago?
But legally, I mean, don't they have to tell people that?
No, not if you want to sell it.
It was something like he'd come back from the army and he'd been accused of something, killing people, innocent people, killing civilians, and then, you know, himself.
But you don't mean like, 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 like here in this very.
No, I mean, not where you're sitting. Upstairs, wasn't it?
I, 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 I.
Breathe.
Stop it.
I mean, the version I was told that he went upstairs, hanged himself.
Okay, no, I'm sorry, but that is wrong.
Where are you going?
Lindsey walks out of the room. Steve follows her. From off, we hear.
That is just no. To sell someone a house where
What's the matter?
no, there should be a law. I don't care how. I don't care how, okay? I just want to know how he did or what in what room because I'm sorry. But that is just something that from a legal standpoint you should have to tell people.
It's not.
Well, it fucking should well be.
Hey.
And now I have this horrifying image in my head.
But why do you have to? Why do you have to make such a big deal out of?
It is a big deal, Steve, if our family is going to live in a house where
I mean, it's not like he's still hanging up there.
it's not funny, okay? It's not funny to me, so why are you acting like an asshole?
The kitchen door bangs open and Dan noisily enters.
Okay, show what you got.
He drags a large trunk, the footlocker we saw in Act 1, covered with mold and dirt, into the middle of the room.
So, that's your problem right there. Excuse me. And I tell you one thing, yank this from down there, take a look at it, the first thing I'm thinking to myself, you know what I'm thinking? Buried treasure, like Spanish doubloons or something. And I know what you're thinking, Dan, you crazy bastard, but I tell you what, I know a guy.
He joins the circle.
Excuse me. This guy, last summer, he's taken out a septic system in this house out in Mundelein. He's sitting on the top of his backhoe. All of a sudden, clang! And this guy's not exactly the sharpest tool in the box, if you know what I mean. But he goes down in there about 5-6 feet with a chain and a winch. I swear to God. You know what he pulls out from down there? He stands back, he takes a look. You're in the middle of something.
Sorta.
My bad.
No.
Full in a china shop.
It's cool.
According to my wife.
Oh, yeah.
As well as a couple other names not suitable for mixed. Anyway.
Thanks.
I'll just leave this here for you.
Thank you.
And need me to open it, you let me know.
Great.
Problem though. Problem is this puppy right here. Now, the deal is, I got a saw. It'd take a hacksaw, you could maybe saw it off, but what you really want is a pair of bolt cutters, and I don't think I got any bolt cutters, so...
Well...
Because you never know, it turns out to be full of Spanish doubloons, and we'll have to split it 6 ways, huh?
Sorry.
Whoops.
I don't know your name.
Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Dan or Danny.
Great.
Daniel when the wife gets pissed.
But listen.
No, I gotcha.
If you wouldn't mind.
Middle of your thing, I come barging right in.
Thank you.
But if you find some bolt cutters, you'll be in business.
We will.
Oh, hey, you know what? Hang on a second.
Dan heads to the back door. As he does,
So I'm just going to push ahead, if that's okay.
Ramirez!
Because we still got 17 pages to cover.
I'm sorry I lost my shit. No, I did, but I think we would both wound a little tight right now with the baby and the house and the money and everything.
Ramirez!
And then to top it all off, we get sent this petition in the mail, and suddenly our entire lives are thrown into chaos. The very same moment that, the demolition was scheduled to start on Monday, and unless we get this resolved, which I want as much as anyone, what do people expect?
Screw it.
Dan gives up, exits.
So, couple of options. One, as we said, is reducing the height.
No, Tom, I'm sorry, but you can't just call an architect at the 11th hour and snap your fingers and say you can completely redesign an entire...
It's a little late in the day for that.
I'm sorry you're upset.
I'm not upset, I'm not.
And may I remind everyone that these guys are under no obligation, legal or otherwise.
Okay, here's the wording from the city council, and I quote, "In recognition of the historic status of the Clybourne Park neighborhood and its distinctive collection of low-rise single-family homes, intended to house a community of working-class families."
Everything's cool.
And the thing is, communities change.
They do.
That's just the reality.
It is.
And some change is inevitable. And we all support that. But it might be worth asking yourself who exactly is responsible for that change.
I'm not sure what you.
Wait, what are you trying to? I'm asking you to think about the motivation behind the long-range political initiative to change the face of this neighborhood.
What does that mean?
Wait, say that again.
You know.
I mean that this is a highly desirable area.
Well, we desire it.
I know you do.
Same as you.
And now the area is changing.
And for the better, right?
And I'm saying that there are certain economic interests that are being served by those changes and others that are not. That's all.
And which interests are being.
If you have a residential area in direct proximity to downtown,
Right.
and if that area is occupied by a particular group,
Which group?
You know, we're talking about one house.
I understand that.
Which group?
A house for our family
Which group?
That's how it happens.
in which to raise our child.
No, which group?
It happens one house at a time.
Whoa. Okay, stop right there.
What are you doing?
No, I'm sorry, but can we just come out and say what it is we're actually. Shouldn't we maybe do that? Because if that's what this is really about, then. Jesus. Maybe we ought to save ourselves some time and just say what it is we're really saying instead of doing this elaborate little dance around it.
Dead stop. All stare at Steve.
Never mind.
What dance?
It shouldn't have. Whatever.
So, you think I haven't been saying what I actually.
Well, not to any way of thinking, no.
Well, what is it you think?
I'd like we don't all know.
I don't.
Oh, yes, you do. Of course you do.
Well, maybe you ought to tell us what you think, she was saying.
Oh, but it has to be me?
Well, you're the one who raised the questions as to the
Oh, come on,
sincerity
it
of
was
my
blatant.
speech.
What the fuck, Steve?
You know what? Forget I said it. Let's forget the whole.
Say a thing.
Oh, no, I'm
Okay.
interested.
Okay, if you really want to, it's race, isn't it? You're trying to tell me that the implicit in what you said, that this entire conversation isn't at least partly informed. Am I right? By the issue of racism.
Are you out of your. I have no idea where this is coming from.
Please don't do that to me, okay? I've asked you repeatedly.
Well, the original issue was the inappropriate large house
Oh,
that
come on.
you're planning to build. Only now, I'm fairly certain that I've been called a racist.
But I didn't say that, did I?
Sounded like you did.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you kind of did.
In what way did I say that?
Somebody said racism.
Schism, not cyst.
Which must originate from somewhere.
And which we all find totally reprehensible.
So, are you the racist?
Can I just.
Is it your wife?
Don't look at me.
Look.
Because by process of elimination.
Here's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
I'm saying, was race not a factor?
I don't know this person.
Were these not were these not these differences?
What differences? There's no.
Okay. She walks in here from the very beginning with all these issues.
About your house.
And I'm only asking whether were we not, shall we say,
You're creating an issue where there none exists.
oh, you heard what she said. She as much as claims that there's some kind of a secret conspiracy.
Oh, it's not a secret. Oh, come on. Are you seriously?
There.
Oh,
Thank
please
you.
don't be
Now you see.
perfectly naive.
You see.
This has been under discussion for at least 4 decades now, and at the highest institutional levels of. Oh, and don't act like you don't know it's true.
What? And now we're the evil invaders who are
She never said that.
appropriating your ancestral homeland.
No, I'm sorry. This is the most asinine. Half of my friends are black.
What?
As is true for most normal people.
Name one.
Normal people tend to have many friends of diverse and wide range.
Can't name one.
Candace.
Name another.
I don't have to stand here compiling a list of.
You said half. You specifically.
Teresa.
She works in your office. She's not your friend.
She was at the baby shower, Steve. I hope she's not my enemy.
Well, this is all fascinating.
Name another.
Well, I'd love to sit here and review all of American history. Maybe we should concentrate on the plans for your property.
Yes.
Which had been the original topic of the conversation.
The history of America is the history of private property.
That may be.
Read
De Tocqueville.
No. De Tocqueville. Read De Tocqueville.
No, I rather doubt your grandparents were sold as private property.
Oh my God. Look. Humans are territorial, okay?
Who are you?
This is why we have wars. One group, one tribe tries to usurp some territory. And now you guys have this territory, right? And you don't like having it stolen away from you the way white people stole everything else from Black America. We get it, okay? And we apologize. But what good does it do if we perpetually fall into the same predictable little euphemistic tap dance around
You know how to tap dance?
What does that say?
See what.
Okay. See, you see what he's doing?
Maybe quit while you're ahead.
No, I'm sick of no. Every single word we say is scrutinized for some kind of
Latent.
Like. Meanwhile, you guys run around saying N-word this and N-word that and whatever. We all know why there's a double standard, but I can't even so much as repeat a fucking joke that the one black guy I know told me.
So tell the goddamn joke.
Not now.
If you feel so oppressed, either go ahead and tell it, or
not.
Maybe you can move on.
Thank you.
Well, I want to hear it. Oh, don't.
Trust me, it's
Why
offensive.
not? You're not interested?
Of course it's offensive.
To me. Offensive to me.
That's the whole point of the... How does it offend you?
Because it's disgusting and juvenile and traffics in the worst possible way of absolute bullshit stereotypes.
Well, now I gotta hear it.
Not
No. Oh, come on. Well, she says it's so offensive. I have no way of knowing if she's right. And if I don't ever hear it, how will I ever know?
You know what? Well, I don't even remember it now.
2 men in jail, you said.
Oh, I know this one.
Stephen.
Wasn't that it? 2 men?
Okay, so there's... Look, it's not even my joke, okay? It was told to me by Kyle Hendrickson, who, for what it's worth, happens to be...
Black.
Right.
So the white man goes to jail.
I can't believe you actually intend to... Fine.
Anyway.
Knock him dead.
Goes to jail for, embezzlement. Something little white guy. And he's put in a jail cell with this...
With a black guy.
Big black guy.
And why big?
And repeating
verbatim
a joke. A joke in the precise
manner.
Thank you. A joke in the precise manner in which it was told to me.
Why does it have to be big? What does that reveal about your subconscious?
Little white man.
Oh, God.
Big black man.
Yeah. So they slam the cell door behind him, I guess. And the black guy turns to the white guy. Black guy goes, okay, I'm going to give you a choice. While you're in here with me, you can either be the... Is that
Mommy.
Oh, okay. This is so bad. You can either be the mommy or you can be the daddy. And the white guy thinks for a second. He goes, I guess it's up to me then. Guess I'd have to say I prefer to be the daddy. And the black guy goes, okay, well then bend over because mommy's gonna fuck you in the ass.
Long pause. No one laughs or smiles. They simply nod or shake their heads. Finally.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
So, is that offensive?
Are you insane?
To you. How is it offensive to you?
I don't think it's me you should be asking.
No, the problem with that joke, see, is that it's not funny.
No shit.
You laughed when I told it to you.
And had it been a funny joke...
It is funny. Yes, it is. And the reason it's funny is that it plays upon certain intent fears of white people.
Vis-a-vis
the...
Okay, I'd like to add, I'm gay.
I don't know what.
Nice going, Stephen. Nice work.
So I guess you think sex between men is funny?
Oh, come on.
Just inherently funny.
And it's not even sex, but it's rape.
So rape is funny.
Yes. In the context of the joke.
My sister was raped.
I quit.
So it's offensive to me.
And me.
And him. And them. That's the point of the joke, to permit the expression of... And what does it even mean, offended? I didn't even know what it means.
How many white men does it take to change a light bulb?
No, can we please not?
Okay, I'm about 2 minutes
Tell
from
me the
leaving,
joke.
so heads up.
I want to hear it. I do. How many white men does it take to change a light bulb?
All of them.
And why is that?
One to hold the light bulb while the rest of them screw the entire world.
So, you think I'm offended? Well, I can do this all day. What's long and hard on a black man?
How is this happening?
I don't know, Steve. What is long and hard on a black man?
First grade. Are you offended?
Nope.
Neither am
You can't be offended, you moron.
I can't?
Because you've never been politically marginalized, unlike the majority of people in the world.
How can a majority be marginalized?
And by the way, all women everywhere, it's your classic white male myopia that you're blind to the basic fact.
Why is it a white man? Why is a white woman like a tampon?
Why is what?
It's a joke. No. You told a joke. Now I'm telling one. Why is a white woman? Baby, don't. And please don't baby me. You've got 3 babies at home. Good night. I wash my hands. If you need to pacify someone, so
Can you repeat the setup?
why
Is a white woman, right?
like a tampon?
I don't know. Why?
Because they're both stuck up cunts.
Pause. Again, no one laughs or smiles. Kevin shakes his head.
Wow.
But I hope you're not offended.
See, I find that funny.
Do you?
Well, I'm offended.
Oh, you are not.
And how does it always come back around to the women?
It was just a joke.
Exactly.
An extremely hostile joke.
Directed at me.
And in what way am I stuck up exactly? You mean because I worked my ass off putting myself through law school, that makes me stuck up?
It's a joke about a tampon.
Maybe there's a difference between being stuck up and being intelligent.
You don't even know the fucking capital of Morocco.
Okay.
And you know something? If there's anyone here who's been marginalized by the tide of history, you don't exactly see me sitting up in the White House, do you?
Thank the Lord.
But you don't see me wetting my pants and acting all offended.
You know, I think maybe I'm done.
No. You want to know what offends me? How about the neighborhood the 2 of us are living in right now? Bunch of white suburban assholes still driving around with the yellow ribbon Magnus on their SUVs in support of some bullshit war. That's the kind of shit that offends me.
Why does that make them assholes?
Why does what?
That assholes have yellow ribbons on their SUV.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. You said...
I said I wish the magnet, not, by virtue of...
So, it's not the magnet. It's not the magnet makes you the asshole.
You have one on your car?
I have 3 of them.
3.
3.
3?
3.
3.
1 for each member of my family serving overseas.
Great.
I have the pink one for breast cancer.
So maybe I'm a triple asshole, but...
I think we all know who the asshole is.
Wow.
Well, you're being an idiot. In the case you haven't noticed, the rest of the world has begun a more sophisticated conversation about this topic than you apparently are qualified to participate in at this incredible moment of history. I mean, I used to date a black guy. So what? I mean, seriously, Steve, wake up.
The same church bell that we heard in Act 1 begins to ring. Pause. Tom looks at his watch.
And it is now 4 o'clock.
When did you date a black guy?
So, final thoughts? Lena?
No,
Kev?
I'm good.
Anybody?
Very informative.
Well, I want to say this. I want to say I feel angry, and I'm basically kind of hurt by the implication that's been made. Just because we want to live as your neighbors and raise a child alongside yours, that somehow, in the process of doing that, we've had our ethics called to question, because that is hurtful.
No one has questioned your ethics at all.
Well, I wish I could believe you.
No, what we're questioning is your taste.
The others rise to leave.
Well, that was insulting.
Kathy, I will call you when the petition gets through.
Thank you.
Tuesday at the least.
Wait, what's wrong with our taste?
Kev?
Right behind you.
No, what is so egregious about the design of our house?
No. Let it go.
Lena exits.
Sweetie, I've got a thing, but I'll call you tomorrow.
And you guys got my number if you want to talk.
Yep.
Tom is gone with a thumbs up. Kathy follows close behind. At the same time, Dan enters from the kitchen carrying a pair of bolt cutters. The others ignore him.
So, good luck with your house, and maybe y'all can just communicate with Tom from here on out. But anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Kevin and Lena politely exit through the open front door. Steve and Lindsey stand silently for a moment, then...
Wow is right.
Amazing.
And for the record, that woman is the cunt.
And instantly, Kevin is back through the front door.
Wait a second, what'd you say?
All hell breaks loose.
Can we do these one at a time?
What? Yeah.
Okay. Just leave it alone. Let him wait. Just leave it alone. Just let him be. I don't care what kind of bullshit they think. All I want to do is go home and take the longest shower of my life. What do you think I'm deaf or something? Standing right here on your front doorstep oh no. I heard you loud and clear. I'm just giving you the opportunity to repeat it to my face.
What? Look, hey, whoa. Back off, man. What is your fucking problem, dude? I didn't do anything to you or to her. So why can't you chill?
No. I told you it's pressure. We're both under a huge amount of pressure. And yes, he acted like an idiot, but we could all just maybe step off, please.
And when you do, I will slap the taste out of your mouth.
Oh, good. Threaten me.
Oh, now you're gonna stand up for me. Don't you ever insult my wife. You hear me, bitch?
Putting his hand on Kevin's shoulder.
Hey, let's be civilized.
Oh, don't touch me.
Whoa, that's cool. I'm just passing through is all.
Hey, do you mind, okay? We happen to be having a conversation.
Go putting your hands on me. No. Not in this neighborhood. Oh, for God's sake, are you coming? Or are you too busy trying to make friends with everybody?
Dan backs off and goes at the trunk with the bolt cutters as two simultaneous arguments unfold.
And why the fuck did you go and insult Kathy? We are paying her. I hope you realize.
Yeah?
What the hell is
I agree with that.
All
The house
afternoon,
is too fucking big.
always gotta be everybody here. I'm Patty, I'm Kevin. Oh, give me a fucking so you want to fight with me now? Gotta pick a fight with me? You have a bug up your ass from the moment you walk through this door. Yeah, well, some of us Well, maybe that's because some of us aren't paranoid and delusional.
Kevin and Lena exit. By this point, Dan has succeeded in opening the trunk.
Very first time we saw the plans, what did I tell you? I told you that like 15 times. You see it?
Wait, what?
I don't see that.
It was like during the overlapping part.
I don't see that.
Oh, I see it.
I see it.
Lindsey, well,
I see it now. Well, Steven, you're free to live wherever you want, but the baby and I will be here if you ever feel like visiting.
Fine by me.
Do you have the keys?
I mean, God forbid my needs should ever come before the baby's.
You really want me to choose between you and the baby?
Oh, I'm secondary.
Because that's an easy one.
Correction.
Tertiary.
Thank you. Correction. Tertiary.
As Lindsey and Steve continue to argue, a bespectacled young man in a military uniform descends the stairs, unnoticed and oddly out of place. This is Kenneth, played by the actor who played Tom. He carries a yellow legal pad and a transistor radio. Oblivious to the scene around him, he takes a seat by a window near the front door as Dan removes a yellowed envelope from the trunk. Lindsey and Steve prepare to leave as their bickering continues.
Or maybe you don't want the baby.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know I had a choice.
Oh, you had a choice.
If only I'd known.
And you chose.
And what about what were the options again? Oh, that's right. A, let's have a baby.
Which you chose.
Or B, I'm divorcing you.
But you chose A.
A for arm twisting.
Do you have the keys?
B for blackmail.
Do you have them or don't?
Yes, I have the gun. What, you think someone's gonna rob this place?
Dan turns to see them exit.
Help yourselves, fucking shithole.
Steve slams the door. Dan looks around with no acknowledgement of Kenneth.
Hello? Hello?
He sits on the trunk, opens the letter.
Dear Mom and Dad.
Lights change. Music begins to play from Kenneth's transistor radio, not unlike the very beginning of the play. It is early morning, 1957. Dim light filters through the window, barely illuminating Kenneth. He bends over his legal pad writing as Bev slowly descends the stairs, dressed in her robe and slippers. She stops near the bottom.
Kenneth?
Kenneth turns down the volume on the radio.
What are you doing down here?
Writing a letter.
Oh. Did your father leave already?
I don't see the car.
What time is it?
Dunno.
Or slept?
Yep.
Don't know why I was up so late. I was up half the night and the house was so quiet and your father was sound asleep. For some reason, my mind was just racing and it took me forever to fall asleep.
Go back to bed.
Oh, look how you're dressed up. Why are you all dressed up like that?
Kenneth stares, doesn't answer.
Kenneth?
Job interview.
A key turns in the front door. It opens and Francine enters in her street clothes with a scarf tied around her head. She carries a wet umbrella.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Francine.
Morning.
Oh, is it raining out there?
Sprinkling a little.
Didn't even notice. Well, it's good for the grass.
She stands at the bottom of the stairs as Francine crosses past her and up the hallway. Bev hesitates.
Aren't you going back to sleep?
Well, I'm just about to.
For a moment, she stares into space, then turns to Kenneth.
But you know, I think things are about to change. I really do. I know it's been a hard couple of years for all of us. I know they have been. I really believe things are about to change for the better. I firmly believe that.
Kenneth waits. Bev turns and starts back up the stairs.
You have enough light there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't hurt your eyes.
She is gone. Kenneth turns the radio back up, resumes writing. Dan continues to read. The lights slowly fade as the music concludes. The end.
Damn.